Hey everybody, so right away I'm just going to say shout out to Brad Jones. Check him out at thecinemasnob.com. Check out his midnight screenings reviews on YouTube. This is flat out his setup. So what's going on today is Rachel's out of town for the weekend. She let me borrow her car. Sorry for smoking in your car, Rach, but and I managed to get the day off. So I did something, I'm doing something. Fucking sorry guys. Professionalism. I'm doing something that I haven't done in a while, which is I'm going to the Dollar Theater, the second run theater. It's not $1 anymore, it's like $2.50, and seeing a bunch of stuff. I'm spending all day watching movies, so I think I've got 5 planned throughout the day. I just got out of Passengers, as you can tell from the video title. So I got about a half hour to kill before I go in to see Jackie, and I thought I'd talk about Passengers a bit and do my car review here. So like I said, this is flat out, you know, go check out CinemaSins and Brad Jones and his midnight screenings. He did this first. He's one of the reasons I started reviewing stuff anyway, so want to get it out of the way. All right, Passengers. I missed it in theaters first time around, and I heard a lot of mixed things. For those who don't even remember Passengers, this is the one with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence, and they're trapped on a spaceship. It's Titanic in space, kinda, because the opening scene, they hit a big old meteor, and the ship's in jeopardy, and there you go. So the trailer doesn't give away the thing that's the most polarizing part about this, and I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it because it's not really a spoiler in the movie, it just kinda happens. Chris Pratt wakes up first due to a malfunction, kinda goes a little batshit after a year of being alone, and then decides to wake up Jennifer Lawrence and essentially ruin her fucking life. And then, you know, CGI, action, sci-fi stuff happens. Problem is, and spoilers I guess, but this movie's been out for a while. Problem is, eventually she finds out that he woke her up, and after spending a good chunk of the movie being pissed at him and beating the shit out of him and never gonna forgive him, and literally saying at one point, "This is murder, you woke me up and doomed me to die on this ship." By the end of it, they're in love again, she's forgiven him, and not only that, there comes a point where they find out a way to put her back to sleep, just her, so she could live her life and go on and have, you know, continue what she wanted to do, which is write a book. And instead, she decides not to do that. She decides to live a solitary life by herself with Chris Pratt, and yeah. This is, there's a version of this movie that's really fucking good, for sure. I think you honestly should have Tarantino'd it a bit and messed with the structure. If the movie opened up with Jennifer Lawrence waking up, and you meet Chris Pratt, and the whole thing's from her perspective, and then, you know, like an hour into the movie, you find out that he woke her up, it's revealed. Then you go back in time and show what really happened. And then, in the last act, when they have to save the ship and things are gonna blow up, have her forgive him and acknowledge that, like, I don't want you to die because you're the only motherfucker I've got to talk to. I'd rather have you than nothing. And yeah, we're totally gonna fuck. We're gonna have sex because you're attractive and I'm attractive and I'm a human. And yeah, we're gonna fuck, but I'm never gonna forgive you. There's a version of that movie that I'd like to see, for sure. Chris Pratt's great, Jennifer Lawrence is great. Lawrence Fishburne shows up in a real, like, what the fuck, why kind of way. Even before they get into the whole very fucking rapey, awful, misogynistic bullshit of, like, essentially Stockholm Syndrome, falling in love with your captor. Before we get into that, the first, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes of this movie is just Chris Pratt by himself, and he talks to the bartender who's a robot played by Michael Sheen. That was all fascinating and wonderful and charismatic and heartbreaking and creative and lovely. It kind of feels like, I remember when I watched I Am Legend, the Will Smith zombie vampire whatever movie. Same kind of thing happened in that movie. The first hour or so where it's just Will Smith is great, and then out of nowhere other characters show up and kind of ruin the tension. When Lawrence Fishburne shows up in this movie, I was like, okay, well I guess we needed another character. Time to solve all the plot problems, and you know, it's a bummer. I really do wish that it was out of sequence, because the sequences with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence falling in love work. They have good chemistry together. She's a little monotone in this movie, but you know, she's good as always. And it would have been, I think, it would have been a bigger gut punch if the reveal that he woke her up on purpose came later in the movie. It would have put us solidly in her shoes. It would have made us more sympathetic to Chris Pratt. And also, there's something that the nostalgia critic, Doug Walker, refers to as the liar revealed plotline, and I hate those two. That's where you know a main character is lying, and eventually he's going to have to tell the truth. So when you're watching this movie, the whole time they're falling in love and having sex and all this stuff, in my head at least, I'm thinking, you're despicable, dude. You're absolutely terrible. And I know he's going to tell her at some point. There's a more interesting movie if he decides never to tell her, if he just lives with that guilt. I don't know. So it's flawed, but it's got some nice sequences. The CGI is pretty cool most of the time. You saw it in the trailer. There's a moment where she's like Jennifer Lawrence is trapped in she's swimming in a pool and the gravity goes out, so she's trapped inside like a big floating sphere of water. That was an interesting sequence. Lawrence Fishburne, despite the fact that he shows up just because the plot required it, he's really good in the movie. I like Lawrence Fishburne. He's got a couple of really good lines, and he has, you know, a lot of pathos to him. It's a solid C movie, you know. I kind of think I might buy it eventually someday just because I like the first hour of the movie a lot. I really like Chris Pratt. So that's really all I gotta say. I'm not gonna go on and on about this one. It's not really worth it, and it's been out for a while anyway. If you haven't seen it, I think it's gonna be out on Blu-ray soon and Redbox and Netflix and all that stuff. If you like sci-fi movies, there's a lot of interesting sci-fi stuff here. Michael Sheen gives a really wonderful performance. It's just a missed opportunity. They kind of fucked up. I'm sorry, I can't get behind the Stockholm Syndrome, woman forgives her tormentor thing. I just can't. And I don't like the liar revealed thing either. Like I said, if this movie was told out of sequence, somebody wants to go re-edit it, I think that could have been a really interesting, compelling movie. If you make the first hour of the flick, her waking up, them falling in love, and then when it's revealed that he woke her up, do like a 15-minute flashback showing just how fucking pained he was. I think that would have been more compelling and it would have worked better. So that's all I gotta say. I'll be back with Jackie soon enough. And yeah. See you guys.